You got obstacles in front of you, the enemy chasing behind you. God will make a way. You have to believe that today. God will make a way. I don't know why he told me to come and talk to you like this today, but I do know that for what he has planned for us, the same stuff that's always stopped you, I really felt like it was necessary for me to come and to speak these things over you and even to pray it over you, that it stops today. The thing that always caused you to lay aside the dream. You look at the dream and the dream is expensive. I ain't got no money to do all of that. God puts stuff in your heart and it requires, I'm going to have to go to school or I'm going to have to do extra work. And it requires some intense labor and sacrifice. And so the stuff that it always costs us, it starts making us think, well, I really can't do that. I don't have the money for it. I don't have no connections with anybody to really be able to do this. And this is really not going to happen. No. God put that in you while he was forming you. And God ain't playing no games with any of us. He wouldn't have put that in you if he wasn't planning on doing just what he said he was going to do. I look at me and my wife, and when we first met, one of the things we discovered about each other a couple of days later was that we both like to write. God brings across the path these two young people in their 20s. Well, it wasn't 20s. We were still teenagers at the time when we first met, 19 and 18. And we had no idea who we were meeting. We had no idea. I'm talking about the days that are fashioned for you. Even for my wife, she'll feel embarrassed for me to tell you guys all of this. But she was just trying to get out of Harrisburg, and some of you know what that's like, especially the young people, just trying to get out and follow the will of God. God, whatever it is that you want to do with my life, I want that. And so she didn't have the money to go to school. Did not have the money. And everywhere from counselors to family members that said, I don't have no money for you to go to school. But all she knew was that there's something more, is the way that she puts it. Here's my exhibit A today. There's something more. And so even without money, God still blessed her that one of her aunts paid for her air flight. One way. Wow, how do you leave? How do you get on an airplane, going to school? All you got is an acceptance letter. You have no financial aid, nothing except for, I want something more. I'm telling you a little bit about my wife, not to pump her up, but I'm talking about what God has planned for your life. One-way ticket, don't even know if you're going to be accepted once you get there. Wow, it still amazes me today that she did that. But the desperation for something more, there's got to be something more. There's got to be something more. I'm talking about the encoding that God puts in your spirit. And when you're just living everyday life and you're like, I'm born and raised here, went to Harrisburg High School and watching my family and friends, and this is the pattern that everybody takes. You know, you get a job and you work there for 35 years and then you retire and then you die. There's got to be something more. And I'd rather take a chance and pursue the more and fail at that than to just step in line with the assembly line and the normal and the routine and the safe. How many of you have found out that the encoding and the dream of God, it doesn't keep you in safety. It's not safe and secure. I can always predict the next step. No, you can't. Only thing you can trust is, God, I know you told me to do this. I know that I'm in your will. I'm trusting you. God, anybody ever been there? Lord, I don't even trust myself because I don't know what I'm doing. All I'm doing is trusting you. Why is this important? So that you don't give up. Don't give up. If you don't connect with God, the dream can't come true. If you don't believe God, the dream can't come true. If you don't take a step of faith and trust God, the dream can't come true. Second day was the second or third day at school, then we met. And even then, I didn't know who I was meeting. If I had known who I was meeting, I probably would have treated her differently. Because when we were introduced to one another, I was like, Chris, this is Carol. Carol, this is Chris. I was like, She got irritated with me. She went, "Are you going to speak? You going to speak? Can you imagine being introduced to some guy and he just blows you off like that?" It's because I didn't know. I didn't know that I was stepped in. I had just been introduced to destiny. And part of the reason why I missed it was because I was so disillusioned and so disappointed. And words like those girls had said that I heard when I walked out of school, that this school ain't got no nice guys, nice looking guys. So I come across a beautiful woman and I'm introduced to her. And so rather than get my heart hurt and everything, I already got my defenses up and shields up. Do you know that your own hurt and pain and different things that you've been through in life, that even when God introduces you face to face with his will, with his purpose, with his plan, that you can blow it off? Because it's still locked into what they said about me. And I still look at myself through the way they saw me.